Welcome. Hello, Instagram. Let's make you go dizzy. Come connect with me and get dizzy. Welcome, everyone. Woo! Another crazy day in paradise. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on, cruise. Go cruise. Just cruise, 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 cruise. You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Because everything seems okay. My mic's on, everything's on. So hopefully you can hear me now. So, so if you can't hear me, let me know. So, because I don't know, but my sound seems to be on. Anyways, what is it? What is going on in the cray cray? We are getting ready for this big conjunction and it's coming fast and furious. And that's why I'm doing the meditation on Saturday evening. My meditation will be happening just as the conjunction is happening. Pretty crazy. So if you're wanting to join me, please let me know. I have 3 people on my list so far, and it is by donation. So it's 7 p.m. It's going to be online and live. It is a meditation manifesting meditation, however you want to look at it. And your voice was heard. Ta-da-da-da! Click the button. And then I'm heard. Then you can click the button and then I can be unheard. whichever way works, right? Yeah, this is going to be a good one. You know, this is we're taking ourselves to a place that we've never been before. And we're not going to energetically this is I got like it's like a purifying energy. Now when we're going through a change or a purification, this is when because we're human and we have egos, this is when things can get a little bit cray cray and we might get a little bit crazy over the things that are happening around us. Now right now we have that Venus conjuncting the North Node, and Mercury retrograde is heading towards that as well. Now, in a Vedic astrology, the nodes aren't, it's the head of the dragon. They're very ego, and we have Venus there, and Venus isn't happy in Aries. She can't be that all beautiful goddess and here's me, look at me, I'm me. So this can bring in a lot of ego into what we are doing. This could also be where we can get lost in crazy illusions and thinking this is the way I need to do things. And I got to do it this way. So we can get really lost in these, self-serving illusions that aren't really serving our purpose. This purification and change that is coming through, especially with this Jupiter Uranus energy, right? This energy that's coming in is having us really look at the truth of ourselves. This is about looking at how are we serving? How are we serving? And when we look at how we are we serving for the highest good? Are we serving for the highest good of others? Are we serving for the highest good of our community? Are we serving for the highest good for our family? How are we being of service? And that's part of that frequencies that are coming in that we are that are getting grounded into the earth, right? And this is where a lot of different timelines and dimensions and different are coming in. And we have this Mercury retrograde just came off Chiron and the North Node, and we haven't seen that in 50 plus years. We have this sort of blimp in the matrix, and there's this wounding that is there. There's this part that is there. And we can see a lot of this crazy ego being played out. The alerts that I've been getting about, the Middle East and things, and then the craziness that happened in Dubai, that was nutty. My baby's girlfriend is over there in Dubai with her dad, and I found it quite interesting that all of this rain came down. They haven't had this much rain in about a year or 2 years. Like, the amount of rain that it would fall within a year, they had in one day. That amount of rain that came down. Now, this is, again, I'm gonna say this is ego. Like, Dubai was built on ego, definitely. You go, the pictures I've seen and even the pictures that Casey's been sending me, it is definitely like that is the extremes of our society, of ego, of flamboyant, of extravagance, to the max, and wanting to have all that extravagance, and then of course, wanting to control the weather by seeding, and seeding the clouds. So whenever there's cloud, they get up there and they spray their stuff, and they've been doing that. And of course, what happens is bang, all of this is like, okay, you want rain? I feel like Mother Nature saying, you want rain, motherfucker? I'm gonna give you rain, motherfucker. And then all the rain comes down. That's how I feel like it was. And it just downpoured, and the damage and everything that it's done. It's just crazy. And you can go on TikTok and see all the pictures. She showed me a picture of them driving through it. And the water, like in the car that they were driving, um, it was halfway up the car and they had to keep on going. Like, you don't take your foot off the accelerator when you're going through water. That's why a lot of cars end up stalling, because it sucks up the exhaust pipe, right? So, anyways, little tidbit of information there for you. But it's all of these extremes of the ego, right? This is the illusion that is coming forth. And Aries is the first house. So Aries is all about self. Who am I? I am what? I am. So it is that self-serving energy. That's what Aries is. And when we look at it and we want to look into the deeper issues, how are we being that self-serving energy? And with this conjunction that's coming up, this is the purpose of how we are giving life, how we are creating more within our realm and in the realm for others, right? This is where, with when it comes to the community and the ideas and our gifts to help others, and I find this is where you have to let it go, and you got to let it go and let it die. So if you are having problems with control, like, I got to control this, only I can do it. This is a da, 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 da. This is one of those self-serving energies, and that we do. You got to let it go and let it die. You can't, you can't control it. Or if you are um, popular, and like, oh, look at all the beautiful things I have, and look at all the beauty, and everybody likes me, and the thumbs up and everything else, you got to let it go and let it die. Because when you let it go and you let it die, you're open to more and more opportunities. When you're sitting there in that past energy, in that past frequencies, and you're saying, I got to control this, I got to have it this way, this is the way I have to have it, then you're going to find it's just going to it's going to go down a road you don't want it to go down. It's going to go into a place that you don't want it to go down. And this is where especially with this Pisces energy, and we have two malefics in Pisces. This is where the subconscious can come in, the dark place of the subconscious, that self-serving of this of the ego, and make it the ego way. My ego says. And that's where the great illusion is. The ego is going to go along with this great illusion. And the ego is the one that's going to come in and want things to be a certain way. And then you're going to have this belief, well, the destiny is this, because this is what is appearing to me, right? This is my destiny. And Mercury's retrograde. This isn't time to do extravagant changes in your life. Really, it isn't. This isn't a time to overhaul everything. This is a time to really reevaluate, reinvent, really look at the things that I am doing in my life. Am I being of service to others? Am I being of service to my community? This is where, a lot of crazy shit can come up, like the rain in Dubai, the blimp that they're seeing on the radar right now that's going up, the coast of Africa and into the Atlantic Ocean. Those are the crazy things that are happening right now. Iran being, on high alert, and, and Israel basically saying, I'm gonna do what I want. Buh. This is my fight. You stay out of it. My playground. This is where you're just like, okay, this is very self-serving attitudes that are going out there. And the more you see it, the more that you're going to see the downfall. We're going to see that downfall of it all. And it's going to cause some crazy changes that'll happen within the world. And this is coming back when you come back to yourself and the things that you need to do for you. This is where you come back and you look at the crazy game of the illusion. You look at the things that are unfair not only for yourself, but unfair to others. This is where, when you start looking at this, conjunction, the whole world is going to change. What you have and what you build, like, what are you wanting to build? This is really looking at the construction part of, okay, this is what I want to start creating. I'm in Taurus. I'm in this energy of the earth. I'm in this energy that wants to bring in the stability. How do I want to create that stability? How do I want to create this newness that I can bring forth this loving, serving energy? And how does that feel and taste and smell, right? And stepping into that vibration, stepping into that frequency. Because when you do, and you start writing down this beautiful new story, this is where crazy, wild changes are going to start occurring. Now that can actually, a lot of people will say, well, I don't want that. Your ego gets in the way. You're seeing it, like, even with all the evidence that's coming out about the elixir, all the evidence, even under the pharmaceutical guides, Pfizer has been charged with lying, right? Underneath the pharmaceutical guidelines in England. And, we're seeing that. We're seeing these things. We're seeing the puberty blockers and everything else that, that Europe's coming out and part of are coming out saying, okay, this is wrong. But people get caught up, and that's part that, because that's not serving anybody. That's the illusion. That's the great illusion that people are saying, no, I'm doing something that's beneficial. And they solely believe it. They believe it. That's part of the ego. I believe it. And the hard part of this, the part of it is that for them, even though somewhere inside they know what they're doing is wrong, or they know this is not of a highest good, they can't admit it. And here we have this, and this energy can really put that crunch on it, make, and you can start to see them more and more of that ego part, of that self-serving energy of saying, I need to do this. This is what this is my great plan, and this is my greatness, and believing it and knowing somewhere, somehow deep inside, it's not a good thing. It's not serving people the highest good. It's not serving yourself for the highest good. And this is where, especially, when we have, with Venus on that North Node, it's not, the North Node is like, how am I ascending to the highest point? How am I going forward? But the other part too is that you got to look at what is by there, what's going on, what other planets or energy or frequencies are around that North Node. And we got Venus, I mean, she's exalted in Taurus. Why? Because it's self-serving. The Taurus, this is what I like. This is how I like to do it. I'm doing it this way. Don't change my routine. I got it this way. Earth signs are that way. You get Capricorn. Try and change Capricorn. Capricorns are, you can't, it's just like, no, this is the way, I give a Capricorn a reading. I don't care if you're sun, moon, rising. You give a Capricorn reason, they will argue with you and give you the reasons why they still want to do it that way, even though they asked you. Hey, Lexi, even though they asked you and you're giving them, the guidance and everything that comes in and the cards and everything else, they will still argue with you. Same with the Taurus, same with Virgo, because it's like, no, that's not how I see it. This is because they only see. They only see. They only see. And you're like, okay, whatever. You do you, because you're just arguing with me for what? You asked me. I'm just telling you. But that's the whole thing, is that's what people are going to get caught up in. Right? That's that Venus energy coming in. That self-serving energy coming in. I got to serve myself. This is what I need to do. And in doing that, and that's where they will convince you that they got a download and this is what they're doing and this is the right thing that they should be doing and the whole bit, and you're just like, okay, all right, you do you, baby, you do you. And we're going to see that. I mean, we're seeing, people like in the Middle East, I'm going to do me. Okay, you do you, baby, as you destroy everything else around you. But hey, yeah, go for it, I guess, When we're looking at this beautiful conjunction that's coming in, this change of a lifetime that's coming in. I mean, it's not going to, this is an 84-year change, right? An 84-year change, because we're not going to have it again. I mean, for them to come back into, into there, it's going to be another 84 to 85 years plus. For them to meet again, it's going to be between 13 and 14 years, and so there is this evolutionary change that's bringing forth something that is of highest good, something that we have to say, you know what, I need to let go of that control and let it die. I need to let go of my popularity and let it die. And I got to be open to the newness that's coming in and the guidance that's coming in within my truth, because the truth is the highest, the truth, but the truth will set you free. Yeah, it will, because the only way it can set you free is because you let go of everything else. And you're like, yeah, that's the truth. That's what I got to do. I'm reading about some of the early Christians and things of what they had to endure. And just thinking of everything that they had to endure. And most of them got martyred, got thrown to the lions, were killed in some way, crucified, you know. But first it pisses you off. Yeah, it pisses you off, of course, because that's the ego. That's that muggle part of ourselves. That's that 3D earth walking energy, right? Earth walking. We're walking the earth. We're walking the mundane world. That's what it is. And it'll fuck you over. It'll get you to a point where, no, I don't want to do this. This is stupid. I ain't doing that. That's dumb. But it's like, okay, but I got to let that go. I can't have control over that. Whew. And just like reading some of these about some of these early Christians and the things that they endured. I mean, because they believed solely, in what Jesus came down to do. They believed that he was the Son of God. They believed that he was the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And that's from the very early Christians. That's from John's gospel. That's going way back 50 AD to 100 AD, right? So there is still that knowledge of what they really believed and wanted to grow, and the bishops and spreading the word and everything else. It was this belief. Now, when you have that, yeah, I believe this. This is the soul truth. I know this to be the truth because I can see, and you see the selflessness in it. That's the change. That's what it is. It's when you see the selflessness in it. The selflessness in, now, not how they propagated that selflessness into making you feel guilty, but that selflessness in serving the greater good, of looking at how people are in their uniqueness and their individuality, and allowing them to be in that uniqueness and individuality and to be able to shine. yet not throwing up on the other person and saying, well, my uniqueness is better than your uniqueness, so you got to follow my uniqueness. No, that's Pluto and Aquarius. Discovering that truth of who I am, discovering that truth of that human part, that humanitarian part of me, and not projecting my disillusions of what I think are the illusions upon other people. And they're discovering, they're seeing it. And I know, as especially as Neptune gets to the closer to the end of Pisces, there's going to be these huge revelations of the groups, especially when it comes to everything that's happening within the woke society, that they're going to be like, fuck. How could we have believed that? How could that self-serving energy, that negativity, that evil come in, and I believed it. And that's part of the awakening. That's part of, it's a reliving of things that we already did before in the past, but now we are elevating into a whole different higher frequencies than we did after that. Higher frequencies than that they entered in after the 50s, because they're entering into a new way of being after that stage, after World War II. They're entering into a world that they never knew before. They entered into a world like, what do you mean I can turn on a TV? Well, look at the main mundane things. What do you mean I can call somebody anywhere in the world? Hello? you know? That's the thing. There's going to be things that you never thought, you never even fathom are going to come forth. You mean I can see this? You mean it's not going to be black and white? It's going to be colored? you know? It's all of these differences, all these changes that are going to be coming in, especially after this conjunction, and how they are going to evolve into our life. After the last time, the radar and air flight and things flying and moving and transporting and the whole bit were coming into our world. So we're coming into a new way of living, a new way of being, a new way of communicating with one another on a totally different frequency that, especially with Uranus, we never even thought could be. It's pretty fucking exciting. The thing is that we do have to watch our ego. We do have to watch where that can come in and halt us and let us say, no, 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 this is the way we need to do it, because my illusional ego believes it needs to look like this, because that's the only way it can look like. And that's the ones that are going to fall. That's the ones that the dismantlement of the tower will come in. And even within our own lives, we'll see it, because we are all hung up on some kind of shit. We're all hung up on some kind of bullshit that we believe, some kind of thing that's within our lives. But this is where it's like, okay, it's going to becoming more aware, and I have to really look at that and say, okay, I got to let go of that and let it die. And when I do, I can go to a higher truth within myself and within the universe around me and step into it. Our gifts are there to help others. That's what they are there. We are given gifts. We are all given different gifts, and those gifts could be from just being that person who's always happy and giving them somebody a pickup for the day, to that person who is the psychic, or that person who is the healer, or that person who is really good at remembering the different plants and the chemical compounds of the plants and everything else. That's a gift. That's a gift. Those are the things that are going to come in. Those are the things that are going to be highlighted, because they're gifts that are helping others. And you might not even have thought they were gifts, but they are. Beautiful, beautiful transformation and changes. So I hope you join me this Saturday night, and definitely make sure that I have your name down, because I think some people said yes and I didn't get their name down. So I know I have 3 people that are coming in with me, and it's by donation. It's by donation, right? So I'll be sending out the link today. If you didn't get the link or you didn't get the email, definitely get a hold of me. So, found my book, found my other cool book. Yes, this is why I'm drawn to Hecate. 7 p.m. So this book is, it's good. It's good. Because and do you have my name down? No, I don't have your name down, Shar. So you'd be the fourth one. Now I have your name down. Didn't have your name down before. There again, we cannot wholly rule out the possibility that the inhumanity of Europe invaders occasionally turned Native Americans into cannibals. In the present day, the city of Valdivia in Chile stands as an ironic memento of the Spanish Cardicios. Cardicios? Did I say that right? No, I didn't. Pedro de Valdivia. Ironic because this is rather like the Irish naming a city after Gilbert, the Russians after Napoleon, or Durham miners after Margaret Thatcher. In the years leading up to 1553, Valdivia tortured and slaughtered hundreds of Chileans through the forced labors of the gold mines. Rising in a revolt against this opposition, the Arauca Indians finally captured Valdivia, killing him on Christmas Day, 1553. I don't know why I'm reading this, but I am. One version of his death has the Arauca becoming cannibals in order to extract a sufficiently extreme revenge. Crazy. Just think, see, it's that ego thing. I'm gonna say it was that ego thing. I know better than you know. Nah. So you got to do it my way, because I know better than you, right? Because I could dress better than you, so I know it better. I have more money in the bank, so I know better than you, right? So I have overnight guest noise household Friday till Sunday. Will there be a replay of the meditation? Yes, there will be a replay of the meditation. There will. It is recorded. So if you are wanting the recording. So, and it's still by donation. So yeah, just Sacred Winds, DM me and send me your email so I could send you the link. And even though sending you the link, it just lets me know that I send you the replay. It's kind of like a reminder for me. So this, some say the Velveeta being fallen into their hands was fastened to a tree, and his almonar, I cannot read, ALMONNER, to another, so near together they might discourse together and condole one another's misfortunes, and that the oh my God, and that the acquires from time to time, through contrary to their custom to eat human flesh, did cut off gobbets of flesh from their legs, thighs, and arms, which they cast to be roasted, boiled, or broiled according to their several appetites, which they did eat in the sight of these poor tormented creatures, whilst they were finishing their days in such lingering death. That is disgusting. But you know what? That shit still happens today. How fucked up is that? That's really egotistical. I just took a page in here, but I mean, reading some of the stories that are in here are just, you look at it and you're just like, holy shit. Some of the crap that they believed and some of the things that they did and stuff, and cannibalism. I mean, they still, There's still ceremonies and shit that go on today with that kind of stuff. But anyways, this is I really could. Lexi, count you in. Hello. Okay. Let me. Sacred winds, wonderful. I'll DM you. Thank you. I'm just writing this down. Sacred winds. Peppy Lou, which I know is Lexi. Lexi. And Declan Joe, I don't know if you said yes, you're coming to the meditation or not. So I wasn't sure. So I didn't have your name down either. Charlene. There we go. So we'll do a herb. Yes. So Declan Joe. Okay. So Declan Joe. There we go. All right. Okay. See this? Let's go for it. Ooh, money. That's what I landed on. I pointed at money. Money. So what is money? Oh, we all know what money is. These plants increase a person's financial scene. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. They will not create dollar bills out of thin air. The money may come in a form of unexpected gifts or legacies, but usually it will manifest as a raise in pay, a better job, a government, a good investment, a loan suddenly repaid to you, and so on. Magic performed to gain money is quite commonly practiced. However, few people actually need money. They need what money can buy. If I needed enough money to pay my bills, for example, I would use these money herbs while visualizing my bills as being marked paid in full and then disappearing. Give the power direction and it will flow. So if you are needing some money, this is where, when we do little money spells and stuff, and this is one of the things, a bay leaf is really easy to use. And one of the things is that what you can do is that if you have a bill, and a lot of us pay our bills on money, 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 always sunny in a rich man's world. Okay, they're coming up to their 50th anniversary, by the way. ABBA is. If you if you print off the bill, right, and you can write across that paid in full, right, and then you take your bay leaf and you write the amount on your bay leaf and you say paid in full. And then you can take that and you could wrap your bill up with the bay leaf and wrap it and tie it with a little bow. You could burn it if you want. You could keep it and put it on your altar and say paid in full, so that every day that you are looking at it, it gives you your focus and you can say paid in full. You could take a carnelian, which is nice, or a citrine, and put a citrine on there and say, you know what, this is paid in full, and put the citrine in there. The citrine brings in the abundance and allows for that abundance to come in, right? So it's, if especially if you have a bill that needs to be paid, or you missed the payment on that, and so you need the money to come in. Absolutely fabulous. And allowing it to come in many different ways, right? And saying thank you for allowing me to have this bill. Yes, yes, Lexi. Yes, absolutely. Allowing yourself to say to say thank you, thank you for this electric bill, because this is allowing me to turn on the electricity. Thank you for for letting me have my Netflix renewed or whatever. I mean, you might not see, you roll your eyes, oh yeah, but you watch Netflix. Don't tell me you don't watch fucking Netflix. I mean, we all have some kind of little, one. If you don't watch Netflix, then God bless you. But there is something there that you might have a subscription to, that you want to keep, that you really like, or you want to increase something, and that's fine. Sadly, I don't. Well, I'm sorry, you guys, whatever. But you have subscriptions to something. Either, well, it's Prime, unless you don't have any cable or anything else at all, and stuff like that, which is fine. You only have YouTube. So, whatever, you know. So a lot of people don't have the Netflix. I have Netflix. I have the family plan. All my kids are on it. Um, so, or you have Prime or Disney or whatever it is, right? So you have a subscription and you want that subscription, or you're up to the payment time and you want it to increase, right? You want to have that money in it. Farm TV. There you go. So this is where you bless it and then you say thank you for it. If you have the internet, now I know you all have the internet because you're watching, your little asses are watching me now. So, blessing the internet for coming in, right? Blessing that internet. This is part of creating that abundance, creating that money, because the money, the reason why you want the money is because you want something. So what is that you want? That's part of the manifesting. So what is it that you want? Because everybody's, oh yeah, you know, what is it? $70 million is the lottery right now. And it's like, whoa, yeah, I want this. Well, what do you want the $70 million? What yes, you want it. We want to bring it. And I know some of you, you know what? I could hear some, well, I don't want the 70 million. I only want a little bit so I could just get by. Fuck you. No, you don't. You want the 70 million because the 70 million is going to bring you what more than what you want. And that's where Uranus and Jupiter are. Bring that expansion in. Bring that expansion, right? Because the thing is that if you're only wanting to limit yourself, why are you wanting to limit yourself with what it is that you want? Why? That is limitation. That's an ego. That's an ego. Because I don't want to be so prideful. I don't want anybody to know that I have that. Interesting. It's a mind fuck thing. Anyways, it's like bringing that. So what would I do? Like, wow, would I buy a house? Maybe, maybe not. But it's going to allow me for me to help others. Oh wow, I can help my daughter. I can help my son. I can, I can put money away for my grandson. Yeah. So he will be able to go to school or do whatever it is that he wants. I can complete some projects. Yeah. So all of these little things, when you're looking at what it is that you want to create with that vibration of the money and that vibration of things, because the other thing that we're going to be doing on Saturday is creating that abundance because it's in Taurus, and Taurus is bullion. What is bullion? Money. You want to create that abundance in whatever form and whatever it looks like. Yeah, baby. Let's go for it. Love this book. Ah, crazy. The mummy one is kind of crazy. Maybe I'll read another passage tomorrow from the mummy book. Crazy. Join me tomorrow for mummies and vampires and cannibalism. And we'll see. I know some of it that I've read is like, oh my God, I would never have thought of that. But it's amazing how a lot of a lot of things that they did back then, and even today, it is aligned to the planets and to the moon and the phases of the moon. It's really interesting how they do it. If you get a weed jar, and put some pennies in it with some salt. Oh, not a weed jar. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to get pennies though. You need 7 pennies. 7 pennies is how many that you need, and you put salt in it. So you need exactly 7 pennies. Now, the reason why pennies, because pennies are copper. Copper is a conductor. So that's why. To create, if you're wanting money, and you could put it on in your money. So if you want to put it in your money corner is as you enter into your house. It's usually in the left-hand corner of your house. So you come in, you look at the farthest left-hand corner of your house, and that is that. And you can use any salt. Doesn't matter, any salt you want. But it has pennies. But here in Canada, I don't know who has pennies anymore. So I would look into, I would do the next thing. I'd do nickels. I would do some nickels and do 7 nickels and do it that way. Because we don't have pennies no more. We don't get pennies from heaven anymore. We get nickels from heaven. But that's why it was pennies, because pennies were made of copper, which is a conductor. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you guys. If you want 7 pennies, I can give you 7 pennies. Dad has a milk jar full. Cool. Well, if you have the pennies, use the pennies. Use the pennies. Olivia went to her and her girlfriends had a weekend this last weekend, which was cool. And then they went out shopping in the town. And she came home and stuff, and then she said she just wasn't feeling well and everything. She hasn't been feeling well. So last night I texted her. I said, "What did you guys do on the weekend?" And she goes, "Well, nothing really." I said, and then I was asking her questions, and of course she's an Aquarius, so her, like, "I ain't gonna tell you what I did. You're asking these. You're just being weird, Mom." And I'm like, "Hey, this is your witchy mom. What did you do? Because something's up." And she goes, "Well, we got drunk Friday night." And I said, "Okay, that's cool. Yeah, a bunch of girls getting together. Of course, you're going to get drunk and have fun. Cool. And, dish on some boys." And then she goes, "On Saturday, we got up and we had brunch. And then we went walking around." And she goes, "But I went into this bookstore, and it was a really cute bookstore. But as I was walking around, she goes, I had to get out of there." She goes, "I felt like somebody died. There was death in that bookstore." She goes, "I just felt really sick and really ill, and I had to get out." And I went, "Aha, that's it." And I said, "What city were you in?" I said, "What town were you in?" She goes, "Cochrane." And I was just like, holy shit. Cochrane, if anybody who knows where Cochrane is, Cochrane it's in a valley, and it has so many vortexes there. It is by Ghost Lake. They call it Ghost Lake because of the way the fog comes in and stuff. Um, they've had issues with poltergeists. They have issues with so many different things there. I've gone there and I've done, people have wanted me to cleanse their houses and stuff. And I said, I can bless the house, but I can't cleanse what's ever in there or clear it out because it's going to stay there. But we can appease it and send the blessings there because of it being on special native land. Plus the river goes through there as well. So she went in there and she just could feel it. And I said, "It was one of the older buildings downtown, wasn't it?" She goes, "Yeah, it was." And I was just like, holy shit. I said, before you go in, you got to protect yourself." She goes, "Well, I did that after." I did it after I came out. She goes, "I dusted myself and protected myself." But I said, even before, I said, "That's just a lesson learned." But I said, I said, "Have you showered? Have you scrubbed? Have you, had a bath and everything else?" And she goes, "Yes." She goes, "I've had several showers. I've done 2 baths." And she goes, "I saged." I taught, she was listening. She was listening. Holy shit. And so I said, "Well, I said today, I told her last night, I said, I'll come in and I'll sage your house." So I saged her house and stuff like that. And I'll do it again tomorrow and sage it again. And just go around and just do some blessings in her house in order to bring forth, the positive light into her place. And that's the whole thing. It's like sometimes, you don't know. You don't know. You're just walking along and you're out with your girlfriends and you guys decide to go into a place. That's why I've done walks, and I've done these in Calgary before where we've walked into different buildings. Like even before we go into the building or go into it, we call in our angels and we call in our blessings and to protect us. But as we're going towards the building, I say, before you go in, how do you feel? What is your first reaction? Some people will say, I don't know. I don't feel anything." Okay, let's go in. Let's go see. Right? We're protected. We're everything. But once walking around, it's like, "Oh, I feel sick," or "I feel this." "Oh, I got to get out of here." Some you'll go in, "Oh, this is fine. I feel great. This is fine. This is fabulous." Go to the top floor in the Bay downtown. Holy fuck. That is a fucked up area. Or and then go to the basement. It's another fucked up area in the Bay downtown in Calgary. Because it's it's a very old building, and there's just so much that's in there. Yeah, so just crazy. But the whole thing is that, yeah, definitely, when you, especially if you're going out with friends, you don't You don't know. Like, you're just out there having fun. Like, oh yeah, we're just having fun. We're doing a thing, we're shopping, going for ice cream. And then you go into the building, you're just like, what the hell is in here? You wouldn't have thought it. So that's why it's always really good to make sure that you're protected. Have your little stones with you, put them in your bra, wherever, your bracelets or and stuff, and then making sure that I'm not saying shit can still happen, definitely, but at least you've put that armor up, which is a good thing. Oh yeah, downtown Calgary. It's yeah, that's why I love doing ghost walks down there. Whoo! Let's pull a card. Let's see what the fairy tarots have today. Ooh, Five of Springs. Opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others. Yeah, it's the Five of Wands, right? So the Five of Springs comes in. So it's the Wands, it's the fire, and you're feeling the opposing. You want it to go a certain way, but they're going their way and you're going your way. And it's not going, it's the Five of Springs brings in, it's like everybody's going to be disappointed no matter what. Everybody's going to have an opinion about you no matter what. So you got to go with your truth and what you know is yours, because there's going to be a lot of different opinions and you can't control any of the opinions that are coming out. And with that, you got to bring that balance into your life. So in comes the Temperance. The Temperance wants to bring the balance. It's taking everyone's input into consideration, merge viewpoints to create a better solution. But take your time. It's like, yeah, there's oppositions and all of this coming in. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to take that step back and say, you know what? I understand what you're saying, but you know what? This is what I have to do. And yeah, there's going to be someone who's going to get pissed off. There's going to be someone who doesn't like what you are doing or what you say or how you look or what, whatever. They don't like the lipstick you put on today. Whatever. They're going to have a difference of opinion to you. And sometimes if it's important to you enough to take in that consideration, definitely do that. Otherwise, it's your gin fizz. How do you want it? How do you want to drink it? Right? Do you want less gin, more gin, no gin? Right? That's up to you. And then with that, you got to be assertive with what comes through. In comes the king of pentagrams, the king of discs, the king of coins, the king of this world. He is the king of the mundane world. He's not the king of airs. He's not the king of waters. He's the king of the earth. And the king of the earth wants to build things in a certain way and has his ideas. And this is where he's a good person and he's a good person to work with and he's honest. So bring in that foundation because that's what you want to implement in this energy. You want to implement a really good foundation in the world around you so you can create more. Yeah, there's going to be opposing views. Yeah, you got to balance them all out in order for you to create that foundation that you want to have within this world. There we go. A little bit of everything today, a little bit of craziness as per usual. So I want you guys all to have a fabulous day. I'll be sending out the email shortly. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over you all. Blessings, everyone. Talk to you all. Bye.